Hi, in this video I'll be walking through how to edit a diagram in GUI mode. As a reminder, Terrastra diagrams are composed of many boards, and so whatever you choose applies only to that one specific board and not to the entire diagram. So diagramming with the GUI should feel pretty familiar. You've got the classic toolbar on top where you can drag and drop shapes, the sidebar to the right where you can edit them. You can double click to add labels to things, and you can drag to move things around. Sometimes there are equally intuitive ways to achieve the same thing. For example, when we open the Shape Selector menu, a question might come up on whether you should drag and drop or click and drag. Wherever possible, we support multiple options of achieving the same thing. So you can drag and drop, or you can click and drag, or you can right-click on the background to open up the Shape Selector wheel. And for the pro users, you can use hotkeys. You can use whatever is most intuitive to you. And so to connect two shapes, just hover around the shape and you'll notice these bubbles pop up that indicate that a connection can be initiated. It's stickier at the edges, and you can just click and release at the shape that you want to connect it to. You'll notice that there's some auto pathing as well. So when you move shapes, the arrows follow. The default is to auto path orthogonally, but you can also straighten the line here. We can also change the arrowheads, give them labels, and edit them. As you've seen, labels are triggered by double clicks. And then by clicking anywhere on the background, you can commit them. If you want a standalone text, you can either drag and drop from the toolbar or press the hotkey T. We also have a large set of icons that are commonly found in software architecture diagrams. These are all handpicked, but if you can't find what you're looking for, you can either upload your own by dragging and dropping anywhere onto the board or going to this Upload tab. Or if you find it more convenient, you can just Google search and drag and drop directly from there. The other thing that we have on the toolbar are templates. And templates are things that can be reused across different diagrams or even by your teammates. And so let's say that I want to customize this object a lot, give it some shadow, change the opacity, bold the text, a lot of border width. I don't know, for some reason, maybe I want to save this for later. And I will click Save as Template, give it a name. And when I go to templates, I can reuse that object forever. They can also be used for grouping together a cluster of objects that you might want to represent across boards. The last thing on the toolbar is comments. So you can drag and drop comments anywhere on the diagram. And they're kind of like notes that you can leave for yourself or ways to communicate with the teammate. So I can reply to this. The other thing I want to call attention to is the board catalog. And so let's say I have multiple objects here. And if I want to rearrange them, the board catalog is the perfect way to do that. So if I hover over things, I can see which one I'm referring to. And let's say I want the oval to be on top. I can just drag and drop like that. The board also automatically resizes itself, and so you don't need to worry about dimensions. If, for example, you want more room on the bottom, you can just drag towards the bottom and it'll give you more room. When you refresh or you present the diagram, the dimensions will automatically be set to the bounding box of the objects. So that covers most of diagramming in GUI mode. There are, however, some special features which I'll be covering in its own videos. See you there.